Okay, we're back, and yes, it's working. So, hello everyone. Come and join me. I'm back. I don't know what went wrong. We had some glitches in the system. Can you see the new one, Mungie? You can. Hello everyone. I rebooted. Nothing's going to stop us. We will overcome any difficulties. Welcome back to the chat. Lost everything there for a minute, but we are back. For what? Eight people. Well, welcome back. I hope you can hear me now. And I'm back on the chat. We had some technical problems. I think YouTube's got a bit tired over the last 16 hours and 30 minutes. I know I have. So, welcome into the chat. This is the podcast I started at midnight. It's now 4:30 in the afternoon, Cancun time. Been through 6 rugby games. We've gone through 3 live stream platforms so far today. We're testing the limits of YouTube. And let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you're back in the chat, please. Hopefully you've come over from the previous platform. I see that there's about 8 of you here, so let's see who can hear me. Here we are. Big Hardman 33, welcome. Japan will beat the Box next week. Whoa, that's a big call. Okay, and based on what inside information do you have, Big Hardman 33, on that one? Let me know. Welcome to the chat. I've been going for 16 hours and 30 minutes on this live stream. We've used 3 different platforms so far because we're breaking everything. Mark Williams. G'day, Mark. Welcome into this chat. Part 3 of today's epic 16 hours and 31 minutes. Thanks to everybody that's been joining me on the chat. We've been talking rugby all day long. We've watched 6 rugby games together. From starting off with the Japan Wallabies, Vodafone Bulls against the Glasgow Warriors yesterday. We watched Japan Wallabies today. We watched Canterbury versus Otago NPC final. And then we watched the Lions against Ulster, the Sharks against the Scarlets, Benetton against the Stormers. And we've just finished watching. The other effort today was Connacht and Munster. I'm forgetting what I'm even saying now. So please excuse me after 16 hours and 31 minutes of talking about rugby. But we had a few technical issues. And here we are. We're back. Mark Williams, welcome to the chat. What's your opinion? I've been asked about this all day long, Mark. Look, my opinion is there's no evidence, but these matters need to be dealt with in a better way, transparency for all. And I think South Africa should stop thinking that it's being picked on by World Rugby, because I don't believe that's to be the case, but I have no evidence to prove that. So without evidence, who knows? That's my opinion, Mark. I can understand everybody being upset, quite rightly so, and that's why we need United Rugby fans. I'm going to break off quick and go watch Japan versus Australia highlights. Do it. It's worth watching. Go the Brave Blossoms. Oh, thanks for joining me on the chat. We lost a few people from the previous stream. Actually, I think I can send some of them a message. If you're following me on the previous stream, let me know you've come over. I'll let you know. And it's working. It's working. So there we go. We'll just see who's able to follow over here. What's your opinion, Re Sharks? A fantastic team of individuals, but not functioning at their best. Is Plumtree's job on the line? Well, interesting one. Yeah, I look at all those brilliant players the Sharks have got, and they're just not executing, are they? Plumtree's job on the line? Probably if they lose another game, he will be. Contrarian Mind. Hey, Mark, how you holding up now? Well, mate, we are 16 hours and 34 minutes into the chat, and it's been a long day. I'm doing my best for all rugby fans around the world, Contrarian Mind. So thank you for your contribution earlier today. It inspired me to keep going. And here we are. It's coming up to the end of Saturday afternoon here in Cancun. It's still raining. Nothing's changed. Let us know where you're watching in from. We're on the homeward stretch of this massive marathon podcast show today. Started at midnight my time. It's now 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's true. I will never, ever do this again. So make sure you join in this one because it will be the last. I don't know whose idea this was. This was my idea. Crazy idea. Please forgive me, everybody. I'm going to love making 20-minute videos after this. It's going to feel fantastic. So there we go. Let me know if you found us after the last chat exploded. We had technical issues. It looks like YouTube blew up after so many hours online, and we had to start a new chat. So I don't know if we got everybody here, but let me know if you've come over from the old chat and found this one. Stormers seem to be having a fantastic run of form. Is this a season an opportunity for them to win the cup? Why not, Mark? Why not? Yes, they did well again today. Kept out Benetton. First loss for Benetton in a year to the day it was, and the Stormers did it at home. First loss at home, I should say, for Benetton in a year. Hugh John, 55-40. That's some effort, Mark. Watching 3 games is a stretch for me. Yep, it usually is for me too, Hugh John. But 6 today has been crazy, and talking about them all as well. But anyway, it's all for the love of rugby. That's why I'm here. So what else are we talking about today? Who watched the other games? I didn't watch the Leinster game. How was that? Was that a good game? And what was the other one? The Ospreys. I didn't watch that one either. So let me know what those games were like if you watched them. I guess the South Africans were focused on the Stormers, the Bulls, and the Sharks. A little bit disappointed in the crowd at Ellis Park today. Don't know what people think about that. Munster got home over the top of Connaught in the end. That was an intense battle. I think the Leinster game, by the sound of it, must have been the best, and I missed it today. That's how the cookie crumbles, I guess, sometimes. We've had all sorts of discussions going on today about the changes in the law, what the average minutes in play has been, women's rugby investment, professional clubs, R360. We've talked about a lot of things, the review card system, red card system. It's been all on the table. Look, Mark, to be honest, I haven't looked into it yet. I haven't got a lot of information about what the Welsh Rugby Union's doing, so give me a couple of days to catch up on it, to be honest. I don't want to go throwing a comment out there without really understanding what's being proposed, but I'm hearing it's going to be 3 unions. Is that right? Yeah, Elizabeth got it sorted out. Had to ditch the old platform because it looks like YouTube couldn't handle 16 hours and 36 minutes. But, yep, back and running again. So here we are. Thanks for coming over. So, Mark, I wasn't trying to avoid your question. I was just, I want to educate myself a little bit more on what the whole proposal is. I might make a video about it actually in the next couple of days about what's going on in Wales. That way I can learn a little bit more about it. I'll never forget the 95 World Cup. World and Union gave me chills. That's where my love for rugby began. Fantastic sharing. Great moment. And yes, it was a fantastic tune, wasn't it? The World and Union. It gave me the same feeling, actually. And my love for rugby began many, many, many years before that. But I understand what you're saying. Hugh John, yep, good point. The Dragons do appear to have shown improvement and probably deserve to win after a strong second half performance. Yep. I didn't watch the game, so who knows? I might catch up on that one tomorrow after I've had some sleep. So what was the game of the day in everybody's eyes today? Let me know. Was it the Leinster game? Lots of tries scored. For those that have been around here, I'm sure it hasn't been listening to me rambling on for 16 and a half hours. The wife's going to be happy tomorrow. I'll probably lose my voice and I won't have to be able to talk all day. Bonus for everybody. Hope I can make videos on Monday. Big Hardman 33's gone off to watch Japan, Australia. Hope he enjoys it. Bit of a wet day in Tokyo it was, unfortunately, for the conditions. In that game, we had Nick de Crespigny being the 92nd captain for the Australian Wallabies. Just so happens he shares that accolade now with Sean Fitzpatrick, who was the 92nd captain of the All Blacks and went on to be the most winning captain for the All Blacks with 51 victories as captain. There's a little bit of trivia for you if you didn't know that. For the love of the game, Mark. Exactly. Exactly right. For the love of the game. What we do. What we do and when we do it. 2 questions that have haunted me all my life. Oh. 4:45 here, local time in Cancun. What's the time around the world as you're watching in? Must be getting start of the Sunday in Australia, New Zealand. Almost finished your weekend. WR, you have stated there will only be one team in the West, either Ospreys or Scarlets will no longer exist. I think Scarlets more likely to survive given their history, ground facilities, loyal fans. Yes, agree. Scarlets are more likely to exist based on those facts. I would agree with that, Hugh John. Labour weekend in New Zealand. Happy Labour weekend. Happy Labour weekend. Do we have Labour weekend here? We do we? When is it?
May the 1st.
May the 1st. Okay. Kiwis always got things back to front. End of October. Oh, here's the $64 million question. Who will win the next Rugby World Cup? Fiji. There you go. What do you think of that, Yanni? Fiji to win the Rugby World Cup. I tell you what, Fiji would win the Rugby World Cup if Rassi was their coach or Joe Schmidt. Argentina. My wife wants Argentina to win the Rugby World Cup. Next one. She's a Pumas fan. Los Pumas. Anybody from this side of the world. Mark Williams. I was watching soccer today with some soccer fans. Manchester versus Brighton 4-2. And I must admit, I know why I prefer rugby. Yes. I don't even know how you brought yourself to watch the game, Mark. I gave up trying to do that years ago. Were they diving fanatically all over the pitch and trying to get penalties, were they, Mark? Hugh John, do you think the All Blacks will go unbeaten this autumn? Great questions coming up. I think they should, but will they? I think the game against Ireland is going to be a really good indicator for how the All Blacks are going to go this autumn, because if they have any issues there with perhaps even losing that game, then I think they'll be under an enormous amount of pressure, and I think it'll tell, and it'll give the other teams a huge psychological boost as well. Although I think when it comes to the likes of England, Ireland, and even Scotland, they believe that they can beat the All Blacks in their current form. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a really interesting series, and I've been talking about it today on the chat, that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to this series to see how South Africa play, how France play, how England play, how Ireland play, how Scotland play, how the All Blacks go. This is going to be a really interesting autumn series, starting off next week, of course, in Chicago, and then Japan against South Africa, and we've got England, Australia, of course, next weekend. Can't wait for that game. France have got a great shot at winning the next World Cup. Yes, they do. No doubt about it. Elizabeth's chiming in on the soccer process. 90 minutes, 0-0 score. Yes. Yep. Although I tell you what, Elizabeth, I'm old enough. I'll admit this. I'm old enough to remember rugby games where it was 0-0 score at full time. That never happens anymore. Mark, without a doubt, the Springboks will do the treble. Yay. There you go. No need to ask me then if you know the Springboks are going to win. Hugh John, best game of 3 I saw was probably Cardiff versus Edinburgh. Really close. Great first half to watch. Second half, bit of an arm wrestle. I didn't watch it, of course. I always miss out on the great games. So the wife's gone out for a minute, Hugh John, so maybe I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll catch up on that tomorrow. Cardiff, Edinburgh. When I wake up, if I wake up. Okay, we're rapidly approaching 17 hours continuous rugby podcast, folks. Has it ever been done before? Probably. Probably many times. 17 hours. My golly. Haven't lost my voice yet. I'm old enough to remember watching Sports Roundup on New Zealand TV as a teenager when George Best was the man. Yes, I do too. Sports Roundup, that brings back some memories. Oh my God, I'm that old. Oh dear. Sports Roundup. Here's one for you, Elizabeth. I remember listening to Keith Quinn do his first rugby commentary. There you go. When was that? Have a guess. Keith Quinn, his first rugby commentary of any game, domestic or international. There's a good trivia question for rugby fans across the world. In what year did Bill McLaren do his first commentary of a game of rugby? There's another good trivia question. Don't Google it. That's cheating. And don't use AI. That's cheating. There you go. Gotcha, Elizabeth. Gotcha. Mark Williams, I remember waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning to watch New Zealand versus the Springboks. Yes, we all did that. I remember stoking the fire and trying to keep warm as we were watching the Springboks. And I lived in New Plymouth, not the coldest place in the world. Hugh John, if you watch only one Welsh game, then I recommend Cardiff game more so than the Dragons Osprey. Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. I will take it on board. Yes, Elizabeth, Bill McLaren. He was the voice of rugby, that man. Absolutely brilliant. We lost a legend to the game when he passed away. Bill McLaren. There's been some good other ones, but he was the maestro. I was up at 4 a.m. this morning to watch the NPC final. Good work. I was up as well, Elizabeth. I wasn't watching that game, though. Talking about other stuff. It's been a lot of late nighters this weekend, everybody. A lot of rugby fans have committed big hours to the game. It's going to get easier next weekend. All the games are going to be in user-friendly time for us here in Cancun. No 4 a.m. starts. Thank goodness. I think my first game next weekend starts at 9 a.m. How beautiful is that? Bill McLaren. Rugby commentary's come a long way, hasn't it? We've got Sean Maloney now on Stan Sports in Australia versus Bill McLaren and Keith Quinn. We've come a long way. Sevens rugby starts again soon too. Yes, all sorts of time zones. I'm hoping that I can get to the Vancouver Sevens this year or next year. Hoping to get up to Canada to watch that. Haven't been to a Sevens tournament before. Super excited about that. What do you know, Quinn Watt? Huh? Maxa 500 plays Minecraft 6. What do you know, Quinn Watt? Okay. I don't know. Let's play your trivia. Have no idea what you're talking about. Really like Tony Johnson on Sky. He chats every Monday with Martin Devlin on DSPN Sports Podcast. Yes, he does, Elizabeth. And I've got a little bit of a surprise coming up with you with those names shortly. I can't say any more at the moment. I can't say any more. What's your opinion on Japan's form, and has Eddie got what it takes to give them a fighting chance against the Springboks? No, I don't think Japan's got much of a chance against the Springboks. I think Japan's playing okay, but the wet weather today put Australia in their place a little bit, plus the humongous amount of changes that Joe Schmidt was forced to make in the team had a big impact on the game today. So I suspect South Africa, in theory, should not have any problems next weekend. But look, Japan are good, and they're brave, and they'll get in there and give it a go. But the first 20 minutes, if they can't stay with the box, there's going to be a bit of a problem, I think. A bit of a problem. And we were talking earlier today, Mark, like your opinion on this one, actually. We were talking earlier today about why isn't there B teams from New Zealand, Australia, England, South Africa going to places like Argentina, Japan, and playing test series to give the young guys in those countries an opportunity to play international rugby at that level, and to give these tier 2 teams an opportunity. We were talking about that today, and we've got all these younger players in New Zealand that need to get out and play more than 3 games a year at international level. And South Africa's got an abundance, of course. So what an idea it would be to help these teams by going to, say, like Argentina and playing against Argentina A or B team, playing against Chile, playing against Uruguay, spreading the game around the world, playing against Canada, the United States. Give these teams more international experience. That was one of the things that came up in the chat today. Yes, they do. They have a heart shape, the Brave Blossoms, on the front of their jerseys. It's a nice touch. Okay, now the question. What do you think about the end of the tour? How many games will we win? Who's we? Please clarify. Who's we? South Africa, New Zealand? Where are you from? Hugh John, I remember getting up at 3 a.m. during the summer of 77 to listen to the Lion series in New Zealand on radio when it rained practically every day of the tour and the All Blacks proved too good. Yes. Hugh John, do you remember the game against the Junior All Blacks in Wellington in that series? Do you remember that one? Did you watch it? It's a good trip down memory lane, talking about what we used to do all those years ago, 50 years ago. My goodness. My goodness. Hope to be around in another 50 to see the Rugby World Cup being played. Don't like my chances. Where there's a breath, there's hope. Always good for the game of rugby when minors have the opportunity to play more experienced teams. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Needs to be more of it. After all, Formula One's got GP2, right? So we should have the same thing in rugby where those teams, we create teams that can give each other good stiff competition in series and test matches and tours. Let's do tours. Argentina should go to Europe and exactly, look at Los Pumas. Exactly right. Great example. Great example indeed, where they've come from. And the Pumas were given that opportunity, and Fiji hasn't been given that opportunity. And look where they're both at, right? Fiji could have been that much better again. Plus, with all the other things that are holding them back, of course. Back in 77, there was limited TV coverage, so don't recall the Junior All Blacks. As I say, listened on the radio, maybe brief highlights of the test. Okay, fair enough. Gosh, we're almost talking about back in the days of black and white TV. That would be pushing it back a bit too far. Then we're getting into the realms of Colin Meads and Keith Murdoch and Brian Lahore and all those guys. Whoa, that's a can of worms. Let's not open that one. That's a can of worms. Fiji are brilliant rugby players, yes. And Pine Tree, yes. Oh, Elizabeth, little trivia fact for you. I spent some time with Pine Tree on his farm in Tikawiti, and that was one of the highlights of my life, meeting Pine Tree on his farm. Absolutely fantastic man. Hey, Mark, when URF gets bigger, you might find yourself in Dublin for a few meetings with World Rugby and a few Guinness. Well, funny you say that. Contrarian mind, I actually got a message today from World Rugby in Dublin about URF. Let me share it with you. I'll see if I can put it in the post. Hang on. Let me, I don't know if I can put a photo. I can't put a screenshot in here. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. Anyway, I'll read it to you. Contrarian mind, I got a message today from World Rugby about United Rugby Fans. And the message is from Peter Hannon, who is the head of corporate communications at World Rugby. And Peter reached out to me on LinkedIn and he said, "Thanks for getting in touch, Mark. It's a very interesting proposition what you have. I'm on leave next week, but let me check in with a few colleagues and get back to you at the start of November, if that's okay for a chat. Best, Peter." So there you go. World Rugby looks like opening the door for a chat about URF. Contrarian mind, it happened today. There we go. So we don't have to get any bigger than we are. We're making enough noise for World Rugby to be aware of us, which is great. Elizabeth, how cool. I bet that was extra special. It was, Elizabeth. Very, very special. Fantastic gentleman. What a man. Real Kiwi man. Good Kiwi man. Even if it's just for Guinness. Well, Mark, I hope there'll be a lot more come out of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth the trip if I don't do something on behalf of the fans and get something for us. So hold me accountable to that. Hugh John, I remember Keith Murdoch was sent home. Yes, he was, after being in. That's why I said it opened up a can of worms. After against Wales and Cardiff, I don't think he ever played and disappeared off grid in Australia. Yeah, Keith Murdoch was sent home. I told you to open a can of worms. Great news about World Rugby Union. Yeah, it was a bit of good news that came through today from World Rugby. They're going to entertain a conversation with us. So that's going to happen in November, which is what, next week? He's away on holiday until the week after. So there we go. So anyway, we'll start a conversation with World Rugby about United Rugby Fans. As I've always said to everybody, it's not our intention to go to war with World Rugby. We want to collaborate. We want to work together. We want to improve the game. And that's what United Rugby Fans is all about. How many wins will they get by the end of the year? Who are you talking about? Please tell me where you're from. I don't know who you're talking about. South Africa, New Zealand, what team are you representing here? You're asking me a question I can't answer. How many wins will they get by the end of the year? Or did I miss your comment? Sorry, you might have already put it in the comments. Are you asking about the Bok? Okay, the Bokkers. Okay. How many wins will they get by the end of the year? Well, the Springboks should win all of their Northern Tour games, in my opinion. So how many is that? 5 games? 4 games? 5 games. What have they got? Japan, France, Italy, Ireland, and Wales. 5 games. They should win them all. There you go. That's my guess. Who do you consider the best All Black captain in the amateur era and pro era? No, good question. Wilson Winneray and Sean Fitzpatrick were the 2 best captains in my opinion. How about you, Hugh John? Who do you think were? Mark Williams, it seems like URF is making good waves in the rugby fraternity. We're starting, Mark. We're a grassroots organisation, right? So we're getting ourselves out there. There's a lot of good work going on around the world by different people. It's not about me. It's not about those people. It's about the fans of rugby. We're just trying to build the house so that all the fans can come together. And this week in South Africa, we're going to register our legal entity to be a not-for-profit organisation. That'll be the first legal entity of URF in the world. And then we'll follow up shortly after in Canada, which is going to be our next one. So step by step, we'll get there. All Blacks. Okay, how many games are the All Blacks going to win? Again, I would say they're going to win them all. But if they lose one, it could be to England. Ask Elizabeth. She'll tell you what she thinks. Kirkpatrick was a good captain, yes, and a good player. Ian Kirkpatrick. There's a name from the past. Do you have any chapters in Europe as of yet? The answer to that question is no. We don't have any chapters in Europe as of yet. Contrarian mind. Before we start chapters, Contrarian mind, I just want to tell everybody how it's actually working. We just want ambassadors who are basically people who want to talk about what we're doing. We don't want to set up legal entities everywhere just yet, because it's a bit of work to set up a legal entity. And until we've got a little bit of interest on the ground in certain countries, like we have in South Africa and Canada now, it's a little bit of work to set up a legal entity. So rather than setting up a chapter straight away, we just want people to come on board as ambassadors of URF and just tell everybody what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how they can get involved. And then once we get a number of people in a certain country, then we'll set up a chapter. Hope that's a bit clearer. Fingers crossed for a Grand Slam. Yes, fingers crossed for a Grand Slam. Can you cross your fingers for a wooden spoon? Does that work the same way? Not sure. Thank you, Contrarian mind. I hope it was clear. Hugh John, in pro area, Sean Fitzpatrick as captain is standout and player. Yeah, absolutely. He's the I just threw the stat out before, Hugh John. Sean Fitzpatrick was the 92nd captain of the All Blacks, and he was the most successful captain of the All Blacks with 51 winning games in charge. And ironically, today we had Nick de Crespigny being the 92nd captain of the Wallabies starting. So if he goes on to have a successful test captaincy like Sean Fitzpatrick did, then the Wallabies will be a very successful team, won't they? I thought that was a good piece of little trivia that happened today in the world of rugby that not many people would have known about. Sean Fitzpatrick. I think the pizza's coming for dinner, folks. Is it? Yes. Oh, I've sat here for 17 hours and 5 minutes and I'm getting pizza. Whoa. There is a God. There is a God. What do I have to do to get a pizza these days? Sit around and talk about rugby for 17 hours. My goodness. And yes, they have pizza in Mexico, in case you wanted to know. It's not all tacos and burritos. They have pizza here. Actually, they have good pizza here. Tacos for lunch made by the wife. They were fantastic. Tacos at some stupid o'clock this morning. They were good. It's been taco day. Mexican pizza. That's it, Mark. Exactly. Mexican pizza. It's on the way. I'm going to be eating it very shortly, so please excuse my manners. I'll share it all with you anyway. Tell you what it's like. Dun, 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 dun. I'm very excited about United Rugby Fans. I've got to say that because it's a really exciting project. There's 500 million rugby fans in the world. Just imagine if we were able to get 1 or 2% of them supporting the platform and making a voice across the world of rugby, helping develop nations, helping kids in youth academies, helping the investment of the game, holding World Rugby accountable and responsible for the decisions they make, making sure the investment, it's got so many exciting possibilities. We need to make it happen. We need to make it happen. And we've got some fantastic people coming on board. Hugh John says, Mark, do you happen to know why Joe Schmidt is signing off his contract only a year or so before the Rugby World Cup? The Australian Rugby Union should have him in golden handcuffs. Yeah. Look, we've been talking about that today, Hugh John, in the chat, and it's a little bit of a complex situation with Joe Schmidt because he wanted to return to New Zealand due to family commitments. He's always said that before he signed anything with the Australians, and they were lucky to get him to extend his contract to July next year. Because of that reason, he wanted to make sure that his family was back together again, and that he wouldn't push it any further, so he wouldn't go through to the Rugby World Cup. They were lucky to get him through to July next year and hand over to Les Kiss. So that's the story. But someone did come on the chat today and make a comment that they think there are negotiations going on to keep Joe Schmidt until the end of the Rugby World Cup, but I'm not sure how much credence that's got, because I've heard alternatively that he really wants to get out and get back to New Zealand. Mark Williams, looks like you are becoming a real lifer, Mark, sharing your life on YouTube. I hope not. I hope not. As a nearly 61-year-old, it wasn't the plan, Mark. It wasn't the goal in life, my friend, to be a YouTuber. I don't think I even knew what it was 10 years ago. All I wanted to do was sit in the park and talk about rugby to a couple of people, and here we are, 2.5, 3 years later. Insane. I'm not complaining. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you guys and girls. Simple as that. You make it fun. I love doing it. Love the comments. We've got a fantastic community on my channel. I think we've weeded out most of the trolls, and we've got just a really good, intelligent group of rugby fans. It's just so good. Some of the comments, I read the comments for hours. They're just really, really good. And some people write books and stories on the comments. It's just brilliant. And the history of the game and the stuff that I'm learning, and from different countries about players and coaches, and it's just extraordinary. This is what passion for the game gets you. Yeah, 100% right, Mark. 100% right. And I thought I was passionate for the game before I started this journey. This has made me even more crazy. Who sits down for 17 and a half hours talking about rugby? Come on, who does that? You've got to be slightly crazy, right? And my wife's nodding in the background. Yes, you're crazy. Yes, you're insane. Even my dog's upset with me. He's not talking to me now because I talk too much about rugby. Yeah, it'd be good if Joe Schmidt extended, but it'd also be good if Joe Schmidt became the All Black coach. I'll just throw that out there, right? Let's throw that out there. Hugh John, what's the view of rugby union in Australia? It was being written off only a few months ago, but they have performed very well at times in recent months. If only they could find an international class 10. Yeah, it's the missing piece of their puzzle, isn't it? The number 10. Where's it going to come from? I think they should give Sasha Feinberg a Aussie passport. Look, the Aussies run hot and cold with their rugby. If you go back to the golden years when they won the Rugby World Cup twice, it was a huge game in Australia. And you have all these people. Get down, mate. You have all these people talking about cricket and AFL and rugby league and the competition. Well, it's always been there, hasn't it? It's always been the competition in Australia for the game of rugby. But rugby is a bit like a roller coaster in Australia. It goes through its peaks and troughs. And when the team's winning and doing well like they are now and playing entertaining rugby, then the fans get behind it. It's as simple as that. It's unfortunate that they don't stick there through tough times. But that's one of the things about being an Australian. So, yeah. Number 10, where's it going to come from? Well, Carter Gordon's back in the fray, so I hope that's not going to be the area that Joe Schmidt goes down. That could be a disaster. If you watched my early videos from the Rugby World Cup, you would have heard my very clear, explicit flues about Carter Gordon and why I think he's not the man. But we've got to believe in second chances, maybe. He's come back and proved me wrong. Let's see what happens. But Hugh John, Australia is not the only country that needs to find a solution at number 10. I think there's a few countries. Wales need a good number 10. New Zealand needs a good number 10. That'll open a can of worms again, that comment. Where's Ireland's number 10? Is it going to be Crowley or Prendergast? What's happening there? France, what's France going to do for a number 10? Same predicament. Fiji's got Caleb Muntz at number 10. He's pretty good. Argentina's got Albanos, and Santiago Carreras has played brilliantly throughout the Rugby Championship. They've got a good number 10 solution. It would help Australia, though, wouldn't it? As they head to that Rugby World Cup. Wales needs almost a good 1 to 23. I was trying to be polite, Hugh John. I don't want to be that guy on YouTube, yeah? I tell you what, though, I watched Sam Costello today. That guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. Gosh, the decision-making at times is just so poor. He runs when he should kick. He kicks when he should run. Unbelievable. Pull my hair out if I was in charge of that guy. Mark Williams, I was talking to an All Black rugby fan in South Africa over breakfast today, and he was of the opinion that a lot of the reason why AB's lost were due to referees. Really? AB rugby fan. That's disappointing, Mark. Disappointing to hear that. Has it got to that level now? The All Black supporters are blaming referees? Gosh. Doesn't he watch Razor's press conferences where Razor's always saying, let's take it out of the hand of the referee. Let's make the game winnable for us. That's what he's always talking about, right? Razor's press conferences. That's been another level this year, hasn't it? They should give out awards for press conferences for the coaches, I think. And also some blooper awards. Thank goodness you, John, you're on my side with that one. Gosh. How many years ago was I saying that one? Look, I've seen him had a couple of good games, but he's not, in all seriousness, he's not a consistent number 10 that's going to win you major tournaments, is he, Sam Costello? I said the AB's game has lost momentum in that South Africa are now doing more running rugby. Well, Mark, I'll challenge you on that, because I think here's the problem with New Zealand rugby, in my opinion. I think that the All Blacks, it's not about the style of rugby they play. It's about the players they've got playing that game, that style of rugby. So when you look at players that have come into the team like Leroy Carter, Will Jordan, Ruben Love to an extent, Cam Roigard, we've got the players in some positions that can play that expansive game that we've always played, that running rugby the All Blacks have always played. The problem is we've held on to players like Anton Leonard-Brown, like Rico Ioane, like Finlay Christie. These are not the players that are now at the level playing consistently good running rugby, and therefore they need to be moved on. That's what I've always been saying. So the All Blacks have lost momentum because of the players they're selecting to play that style of game. That's my opinion. I'd like to hear your view. If you think that is right or wrong, or you got another view. The contrarian mind. Hey, Mark, do you reckon professional rugby players and management watch channels like yours and others on YouTube? I reckon they do. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. They'd be stupid to watch my channel. I'm sure they watch Egg Chasers, right? Everybody watches Egg Chasers. Get down, Oscar. So who knows? Maybe some of the players do watch some channels. Hugh John, best 9 for All Blacks in pro and amateur era. Ooh, okay, let's go. Best 9, Sid Going. Sid Going, amateur era. Best 9 for All Blacks, Sid Going. Or Dave Loveridge. Be close, Dave Loveridge, Sid Going. Yeah, I'd put those, I'd bracket those two together, Sid Going and Dave Loveridge. And in the pro era, Aaron Smith was a good All Black 9. Cam Roygard hasn't done enough. Cam Roygard hasn't done enough. Not yet. So I'd put Aaron Smith. He was a good number 9, Aaron Smith. What do you reckon, Hugh John? Elizabeth, haha, and the best press conference interview is Razor. He's so he does the best to appear happy to be there. Yeah, he does the best. Yeah. Deer in the Headlights, Elizabeth, comes to mind. Deer in the Headlights. It was Sid Going that got me hooked on rugby. Really? What a fantastic story. What about his brothers? Do you remember his brothers? Do you remember their names? Lots of trivia today. Sid Going had 2 brothers, Charles and what was the other one? Brian Going, Sid Going, and Charles Going. All good rugby players. Hugh John, Egg Chasers. Tim is good. Like the cut of his gib. Yep. Yeah, Tim does a lot of good stuff for rugby, no doubt about it. Mark Williams, absolutely. I must admit, as much as I appreciate DSPN and realise he misses All Blacks winning, but he can go on a bit. Martin's a passionate guy. We all get passionate. We all have our moments. It's not an easy gig sometimes, this, right? You're sitting in front of a camera, you're emotional about the team you love, and you want to show that emotion because it's real. So I can get it. And don't forget, you're doing it day in, day out. It's not a one-off gig, right? So to be consistent is the biggest thing. You've just got to be natural and be yourself, I think. And I think Martin does that. Martin's himself. Hugh John, I remember Sid Going, but of course his career coincided the greatest ever. Yes, it did. Yeah, it did. We never forget the try, Hugh John, I mean. We never forget the try. Is it the greatest try in history? I don't think so. Sir Gareth, what a try that was. Elizabeth, yep, a deer in the headlights. I remember Sid, but not his brothers. I remember, and Sid Going has the ball. It's going, gone. Yes. Well, that's where it came from, Elizabeth. They used to play in the same team for, oh, now you're testing me, Northland. They played for Northland together, the 3 Going brothers in the same team, and that's where the saying came from, because the ball went from going to going to going. Sid Going was a halfback. I think it was Brian was the first 5, number 10, and Charles was number 12. So it was going, gone. That's where it came from. Yes. And you know what? Keith Quinn had something to do with that. All roads lead back to Keith Quinn, New Zealand Rugby. Hugh John, have you heard of Keith Quinn? Remember Keith Quinn? One of the best rugby commentators of all time. I bet you Keith Quinn got a lot of fans hooked on rugby, particularly in New Zealand. Bill McLaren got a lot of fans hooked on rugby, that's for sure. A lot of commentators have their way, don't they? They can make the game sound so much better. Especially if you're listening on a radio, not on YouTube. We didn't download apps back in the day. I do remember him low flying right down the pitch to the try line. Yes. I remember Sir John Kirwan in his heyday. I really enjoyed his ability. Yeah, he was a good player, Kirwan. Absolutely. Long before the days he was wearing funny glasses, he was a great rugby player. A lot of pace, Kerwin. A lot of pace. Underestimated by a lot of his opponents, John Kerwin, because they didn't think he was so fast and they thought he had him covered. And if you go back and watch Kerwin, a lot of the tries that he scored, he went around his man on the outside just with sheer pace. And that's what made him so dangerous, because the opposition, in a lot of cases, they underestimated John Kerwin's pace. Yes, you're right. TMO era. How many tries would not have been scored if the TMO was in place from the 1970s? There's a trivia question. Pace is not the killer. Brains intact as Kerwin was bloody smart and clever player. Yeah, he was, but he was also fast. So pace is the killer when you've got brains intact. There you go. I'll throw that back at you. There you go. How many tries would not have been scored if the TMO was around since 1970? Carl Duplessis, yeah, fantastic runner. What about Christian Cullen? There's a mover. If you're talking about running rugby looking easy, Christian Cullen was the man. By goodness, he used to glide over the surface. Christian Cullen was to rugby union what Roger Federer was to tennis. There you go. I'll put it out there. Keep it simple. 183. Welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you before. Super Sid going, gone. Absolute legend of the game he was. Yep. At what age? Here's another trivia question for everyone. At what age did Sid go bald? Does anyone know that answer? I'm pulling all my good ones out today. See if anybody knows the answers. What age did Sid go bald? I think him and Grant Batty scored a. I think him and Grant Batty scored a brilliant try once. Sid Going and Grant Batty. Oh, if you haven't seen it, there's a really good documentary. Thank you, dear wife. Look what I've got, everyone. Pizza's arrived. I've got one here. I'll use this. Yes, thanks. I've got my water. Very young, but don't know what age. Yeah, he was young. Very young. I don't know what age it was, Elizabeth, either, but he was young. He was young. Christian Cullen for a fullback. Yes, what a mover. Christian Cullen. You know what? If I was to put a World 15 together today with the fullback position, it'd be either Serge Blanco or Christian Cullen in at 15, I think. And now we're going to get Hugh John come back and say, no, JPR. Oh, everyone likes my pizza. Yes, I'm going to as well. Got some, are these spicy chips? No. Oh, they are spicy. That's spicy for me. David Campese, Mark Ella. Let's not forget Sean Fitzpatrick. Yeah, we've been chatting about Sean Fitzpatrick today. The 92nd captain of the New Zealand All Blacks, Sean Fitzpatrick, with 51 Test cap wins. The most successful All Black captain in history. Wedges, we call them. Yes, that's what they are. Wedges. Cheers. 17 hours and 28 minutes. Let's go. Podcast record. I don't think it is. People go for days on these things, yeah? Keep it simple. David Campese, Mark Ella. Let's not forget Sean Fitzpatrick. Got that one. Wedges, we call them. Campese third on the all-time list. He wasn't the fastest, huh? Well, how fast was David Campese? He was pretty fast. Third on the all-time list. What are we talking about? Try scoring, is he? Is that right? Didn't know that. Yes, Hugh John. Very good point. And don't forget, Serge Blanco broke the hearts of many All Black fans, yeah? We must never forget that. JPR was brilliant, though. Loved watching JPR play. Can't remember the first game I watched him playing. When was that? When was the first game? I'll come back to you on that when I remember first game I watched JPR. Do you think French player? I can't remember his name. Pretty good player. Serge Blanco was French. That's who we're talking about, Mark. Was that who you're thinking of? Just to prove my point, Brian O'Driscoll, only centre in the top 10 try scorers of all time, and trust me, he was never a speedster. Okay, if we're going to have a debate around top try scorers of all time, I don't see the relevance because there's a lot of tries that guys scored that were set up by their teammates, yeah? So where does that rank on the list of a try assists should be more important, right? Set up your teammate for a try. How many games did Brian O'Driscoll play? 100 and what? 50, 140 something? What's the ratio of tries per game? Points per game? Grant Fox was the most successful point scorer for the New Zealand All Blacks per ratio of games he played. More than Dan Carter. Serge Blanco, yeah. Canberra Burlow. Who? Les Carboro, Canberra Burlow. Okay, I'm not getting that. You'll have to decode it for me. Keep it simple. I'm not quite getting it. Please excuse me for eating, everyone. I'm trying to catch up after 17 and a half hours. Hugh John, I was at the All Blacks game against Bridgend when JPR got trapped at the bottom of a ruck and John Ashworth stamped on him. JPR had 30 stitch and came back to the field to play the rest of the game. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. John Ashworth, yeah, that name you can put alongside Keith Murdoch, my friend. Fox was amazing. Saw him first ever All Black Aussie game, played outside Australia, New Zealand. He ran the show in Dublin in that game, but damn, he was superb Aussie team in 91. Yes, it was. No, Grant Fox was brilliant. Didn't play enough for the All Blacks. Crying shame that. Boy, what would we give to have a Grant Fox in our team today? Man, that's what we're missing. Speeding up, contrarian mind, rugby speeding up the game. Quicker conversions, faster set pieces, more ball in play. Teams need faster wingers and sharper backlines to stop cheap kicks and line breaks. Well, the contrarian mind, I'm going to invite our friend Elizabeth to come in on this one because she's got some interesting statistics she shared with us today about the time of the ball in play thanks to Ben O'Keefe on a recent podcast show. It's very disturbing how long the ball is actually in play in the games these days. Or in the Rugby World Cup, I think it was. Camber Obero, French fly half of 80s and 90s. Ooh, okay. You got me there, Hugh John. Is that the correct spelling of the name? Canberra Bero. Can't remember him. Rugby players who stamped his authority in the game. Nas Bolter. Yes, absolutely. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. Or not trivia. It's a little bit of a sharing. When I was a kid, as a, I don't know, 10-year-old or whatever it was, we used to live on the back of a rugby ground. So I used to walk out our back fence right onto the rugby ground and play imaginary games with my rugby ball and my mate. And one of us was always Nas Bolter and the other one was always Hugo Porter. That was where it all started for us. Nas Bolter and Hugo Porter. You're missing loads as well. Show you in a few weeks. Chicago will be green again. I will not be back if this goes south. Ha ha. Don't worry, I don't forget you. I don't forget you. Yes, it is amazing that Fox and Wayne Smith both hail from Putaruru Rugby Club. It's also amazing that Wayne Smith was in my sister's university class together, and she used to go to parties all the time with Wayne Smith and Billy Bush. I think my sister actually went out with Billy Bush as a girlfriend once. There you go. Don't tell anyone that. Salah and Tim Horan, best centers in my lifetime. Yeah, Tim Horan was a good player. Salah, yes, very good. Did some damage to the All Blacks. Why do you keep bringing up players, Hugh John, that destroyed the All Blacks? Are you doing that on purpose? JPR was a 71 line, if you remember that tour. I sure do. I sure do remember that tour. I think it was it at Carisbrook in Dunedin? JPR 71 lines to Carisbrook in Dunedin. Or was it in Christchurch? Can't remember. Oh, I have to get you got me thinking now, Hugh John. I have to come back to you. When that try was scored, yeah, of course, he played a major role in that try. Okay, I'll bring out another classic now. From Wales, number 10, Phil Bennett. There we go. I said it. Also featured in the try, Hugh John. Phil Bennett. I used to call him Mr. Twinkletoes when I was young. Oh, Mike Gibson, yes. We agree on something. I agree. Mike Gibson, absolutely brilliant player. Absolutely brilliant, and absolutely didn't get the credit he deserved. He was fantastic. Danny Gerber, yeah. John Leslie fancied him as an outside back. Yep. Yeah. No, Mike Gibson was brilliant. Who played inside Mike Gibson? Gosh, who was that? You have to remind me. Who played inside Mike Gibson? Can't remember. Contrarian mind. I like the way you're thinking. Duckham. David Duckham. Okay, I've got a story. So when my first international rugby game was to watch my province team Taranaki in New Zealand play England, and David Duckham was the winger for England. Taranaki won that game, 9-6 or 6-3, or it was a low-scoring game. David Duckham was absolutely all class. David Duckham. He was a Lions as well, wasn't he? Pizza's good, everyone. Just to let you know. Mexican pizza. Very good. Mayhoffler. You have to educate me on Mayhoffler. Who's Mayhoffler? Mayhoffler. No. Still not getting it. Mayhoffler. JPR dropped a goal in the 1971 series versus the All Blacks from almost halfway line. I think it was winning score in that test. I remember the drop goal, Hugh John, but I don't remember if it was the winning score in the test. I'll have to go and check it. Twinkle Toes, yes. Twinkle Toes he was. I remember watching Phil Bennett in New Zealand. And, of course, we used to play in atrocious conditions with a lot of muddy fields, and he just used to float over the top of these muddy fields. And I used to go, how's that guy so light on his feet? I think he was about 45 kilos wringing wet, Phil Bennett. He's the only one I've seen in New Zealand muddy conditions just walk over the top of the ground. All right, brilliant. Brilliant. Willie John McBride. He was loved in New Zealand. Absolutely loved. Legend of the game. Yes, I saw that with Duckham. Rest in peace. I think back in the day, a lot of the teams that came out to New Zealand, there were certain players I feel that the Kiwi public really, really loved. You know, they really took to heart. JPR Williams was one of those players. David Duckham was one of those players. Phil Bennett was one of those players. They were all kind of legendary status. Barry John predates me, but I think Jonathan Davis. Yes. Yeah, Jonathan Davies was brilliant. He was really, really good. Andy Irvine. Yes, now you're bringing back great memories. The flooded test match in Auckland where Scotland played the All Blacks in basically typhoon conditions. I was sitting under the goalpost with my dad and my granddad. And Andy Irvine was playing for Scotland that day, running through ankle-deep puddles to try and score tries. Brian Williams, the great New Zealand winger, scored a great try by sliding about 20 metres along the ground. Yeah, Jonathan Davies did have a great career in rugby league as well. He was a brilliant player, though, Jonathan Davies. And a great commentator, too. God, you lot are making me feel very sentimental here. Bringing up all these fantastic memories of these great players. So here's a question for everybody. So do you think in 10 years from now or 15 years that rugby fans are going to talk about women's rugby players like this? Do you think there's going to be the same aura in the history of the game for women players in decades to come? Do you think it's going to transcend genders? Jiffy Davies, that's right. Yeah, Jiffy. That's what they call him. Oh, yeah, I'd love to meet the guy. I think he'd be a really great guy to sit next to. His rugby brain is so knowledgeable. Yeah, I think so too, Elizabeth. Yep. They're kind of pioneering, aren't they? They're like they're kind of at that stage where rugby was with the Sid Goings and all that era, right? The women in New Zealand. So, Hugh John, why haven't you got into the women's game? I'm just interested to hear your perspective. And I know it's not a sexist thing. So, what's stopping you from getting into it? Because I'm a bit like that as well. But it's only because I've got so much focus through what I'm doing on the men's game that I'd like to know your view on it. You played against Jiffy. Fantastic. When was that? I need your autograph, Hugh John. Come on, send me your autograph. Put it on a rugby ball. Didn't know I had such famous people in my chat. I'm just an old guy from Taranaki in New Zealand. Okay, let's talk about the women's game for a second, because what's happening in Canada is amazing around the women's game at the moment after what happened in the Rugby World Cup. It's just exploding. Did you know there's 3 million rugby fans in Canada? 3 million. 75% of the population in New Zealand. In Canada, rugby fans. Like, insane. Andre Jabeur, yes, absolutely. One of the best fullbacks. I used to love watching Percy Montgomery. He was like, it reminded me of someone that kind of did Baywatch during the day and then played rugby at night. Percy Montgomery, he had that kind of blonde hair, beach bum, surfer look, and then he came out and played rugby. Percy Montgomery. Rugby is growing because it's more competitive now. I believe the 2027 World Cup needs a new winner. Yes, I'd love to see that. Yep, too many one-sided games. That's true. But you got to start somewhere, right? So when you grow a sport within a gender, you've got to start off somewhere. So now it's up to World Rugby and the rest to get behind it and help develop it and make it professional across the world, right? There you go, Mark Williams. I'm blown away by the women's rugby. Yep, there you go. I've heard a number of people say that. I was watching Sonny Bill Williams the other day talking about the women's game, right? And he was saying he was absolutely gobsmacked about the skill level that the women showed in the Rugby World Cup. And he was being serious. He wasn't just doing it for the cameras. Yeah, that's true. But it's going to grow. I think it's going to go really fast. It's going to grow fast. The youth academies in America for rugby, they have the biggest sign up for women and girls in the world per ratio per capita. It's growing faster in America than anywhere else for girls. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to get into a ruck with some of those girls. Yep, that's a true statement. I think it just comes down to investment again, right? It needs to be made. It needs to be made professional for women. So here's an idea, right? Why didn't, instead of Mike Tyndall coming in with this fairy ass approach to Rugby 360, why didn't he invest his millions in the women's game and help do good for rugby that way? Like, why do these people have to come in and think, oh, here's a quick buck to make by putting the stupid series together? And they could have invested in the women's game and made much more of a huge impact on the game across the world. Interesting about the growth of ladies rugby in USA is my son is currently coaching ladies sevens Dubai Hurricanes in UAE. Yep. Yeah, it's insane what's happening. The universities are adopting it in the US. There's going to be scholarships. There's going to be opportunities for pathways. It's absolutely brilliant what they're doing. I just I just find it frustrating that someone like Tyndall and his mates can come in and do this within the game, right? And the fans don't have any input into the process, and we don't get to sit down and say, well, hang on a minute, we'd rather you spend your money on women's rugby and developing that across the world. So maybe we need to get to a stage where United Rugby Fans does that, and we become the Mike Tyndall organisation of the future with millions of dollars in our bank account, so we can go out and develop the game in the way that the fans want it developed. Okay, Mark. Hey, thanks for the chat, Mark. Really good stuff, mate. Thanks for coming in and sharing your views. Really appreciate it. Good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You could have stayed for another 17 hours. No, I won't be. Hugh John, have advised my son to make a move to the US. He also has a role as a scout in Dubai for the best ladies in UAE for scholarships in US colleges. Yeah, good advice, Hugh John. Hey, if you need any help with his move to the US, I've got a guy who's I've got contact with a guy who's running the entire USA Youth Academy for Rugby USA, and he's a Kiwi guy, and he's doing some amazing stuff with the structures of all under 18-year-olds in America. So if you need your son to be put in contact, I can help out if you want. Just drop me an email. Happy to help. His name is David Poole. If you Google his name and look on LinkedIn, you'll find his background, what he's doing. Poole, Poole. He's turning American rugby around from the grassroots up. This guy doing an amazing job with a great team of people, of course. Hugh John, are you in Cardiff? Are you based in Cardiff? Don't know about you, Elizabeth, but I just learned a whole lot about rugby that I didn't know today. A whole lot. Camembert cheeses. Oh, you sound like someone we need to get to know. Welcome to the chat. You're my favorite pastime. I've just had pizza, but I'd like a bit of camembert on the side. That's a great handle. How did you come up with that? Not hard, I guess, if you're a cheese lover. My son works with Henry Paul. Okay. Small world. Small world. It is a small world, isn't it? Once you start communicating with people. That's why anything's possible in this world if you just start talking to people, being nice to each other. See, Elizabeth, and you just thought you were joining a boring 18-hour conversation from a Kiwi guy on a podcast. Poole, Poole. Yeah, the second one, near Cardiff. I'm just wondering if I met you, Hugh John, when I came to the Arms Park a couple of years ago. Did we meet at all? I was there with who was that guy? Wifey. Who was that guy we met at the Carter Farms Park when I was doing that interview The guy with the camera, the Welsh guy. Hang on, Hugh John, we're having a meltdown here. Just trying to remember somebody. He was the rugby guy. He's got the Instagram page, yeah? The rugby trainer or something. What's his name? Okay. Have you been live for 18 hours? No, I haven't. Yeah, this guy. Hugh John, do you know this guy? Is that going to work? Hang on. That's me standing at the Carter Farms Park 2 years ago with this guy from Welsh Rugby. Do you know him? I can't remember his name. It's not a very good picture. No. Send it to me. I might be able to. His name's something John. Rugby John. Yeah, no, that's the other guy. That's not the guy I was talking about. No, it's not him. No. Have you been live for 18 hours? I have. Jesus, I've been. Well, sorry, I lie. 17 hours and 59 minutes. No, that's a player, yeah. It's Razor Sharp Baby. Welcome to the chat. G'day, Mark. Hope you're doing well. I am, mate. I'm a bit tired. I've been doing this podcast now for 18 hours exactly. I don't know how. I don't know why. No, not at the moment. Have them later. Thanks. Okay, we haven't met. Well, there's a good reason to meet then, yeah? If we haven't. Oh, if I'm still alive after this, happy to meet. I went to the Chepstow Rugby Club 2 years ago, and then I went to the Arms Park and the Principality Stadium, met a number of officials from Welsh Rugby Union at the time, and stayed at the Welsh Sports Academy or whatever it was, centre. That was quite an interesting place. Camembert cheese. Have there been a lot of people that have signed up for URF so far? We've got over 60 official members so far, Camembert cheese, but we haven't really put the squeeze on getting members yet. We're trying to get ourselves more focused on getting the legal entity set up as a not-for-profit, so we're an actual organization. Getting the house built, I call it, getting the foundation right so that we've got everything legally done and tangible so that people can trust us on transparency and all the rest of it. And then we're going to really start pushing memberships. And also our website. We're getting a new website built, which is a major project, going to cost a lot of money. Well, for me, it's a lot of money. And once we've got that done, then we're going to really, really, really push the memberships because we'll be able to offer something tangible, if that makes sense. Have you met Warren Gatlin? No, I haven't met Warren. Yeah, I can only see that. What's his name? That guy. He's a I don't know if he's a YouTuber or a TikToker or somebody in Wales that does rugby training. Used to be a player for Ospreys, I think it was. Okay, Hugh John, we'll make it happen one day. There we go. I don't know how, but we'll make it happen. Yeah, we're about the same age. I'm 61. There we go. I think you know this guy. I'm going to rack my brains over the next 24 hours to remember who it is. Have you made it to Dublin yet? We're not a bad bunch in Leinster. Heck, Geordie is coming back. He loved it, his second spell with us. Yes, I've been to Dublin many, many times over the years. I love the place. But I went to Lansdowne Road and I haven't watched Leinster play in Dublin. So there's a good reason to come back. I tell you what, if Dublin had good weather, I'd be there to live tomorrow. But that ain't going to change. Geordie's coming back, eh? Fantastic. Must love the golf courses up that way. Camembert cheeses. You are a web developer, are you? It's a shame we didn't come across you a bit earlier. We put an RFQ out to a number of companies to help us on our website build. We had a very complex scope of works for the website because, of course, if we are able to scale this organization, we're going to have 1 million plus users coming onto the website. So we need to be able to make it very robust. So we've actually selected a company that we're going to work with once we've raised the money to do it. But maybe you can help us out still. There's lots of things we still need to learn about the website. So drop me an email if you want. mark@urfans.org. That's my email address. Drop me an email. Camembert cheese. We shall talk. Wow, the Silver Ferns netball coach is going to be reinstated. Really? When was that announced? That's big news. I lived in Chepstow as a kid. You stayed at the Vale Resort, great facilities and a place to stay. Where was that place we stayed in Chepstow? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't the Vale Resort. We stayed at the place where there's the golf course and the you drive down the long entranceway, and it's like an old castle place. That's where we stayed. It wasn't the Vale Resort. It was, what was it? You got the photos here? Have a look at the name. We're looking it up now, Hugh John, where we stayed. It was just down the road from Chepstow. It's an old castle with beautiful golf course and grounds. Can't remember the name of it.
Delta by Marriott St. Pierre.
Who?
Delta by Marriott St. Pierre. In St. Pierre Park.
St. Pierre Park. Marriott
Marriott.
at St. Pierre Park. Hugh John, we stayed at the Marriott St. Pierre Park down the road from Chepstow. It was only like a 5-minute drive, wasn't it? Yeah, to Chepstow, yeah. Fantastic place. We can meet you there. We'll go back. Paul Smith, welcome to the chat. What do you think of England are building at the moment? Well, I can't wait to see next weekend. Can't wait to see next weekend against the Wallabies. It's going to be a great game at Twickenham. Oh, that's cool. If you want to check out some Geordie Barrett golf videos, there's some good stuff on YouTube when he was playing in New Zealand recently. Really good stuff. Following him around a game of golf. Camembert cheese. Yes, I'm a marketing manager, designer, and web developer. Okay. Drop me an email if you can. I've just put the address there underneath your message. Oh, you got it. Okay, thanks. I look forward to chatting. Sorry, excuse my voice, people. I'm losing my voice after 18 hours and 7 minutes of non-stop talking. St. Pierre Golf Resort. That's it. Hugh, John, that's where we stayed. Beautiful place. Had spectacular weather too. What do you think of England rebuilding at the moment, Paul Smith? Oh, you got me another question. What do you think of Jason Holland putting the All Blacks coaching set up? Okay, let me help you out with that one. Okay, Paul Smith, this is for you. I wrote that the other day about Jason Holland. So instead of repeating all of that, I'll send you the article that I wrote. Have a check it out. Tell me what you think. Agree, disagree, have another opinion. Always respected here on the channel. Just saw it on Facebook Reels, Mark. Okay, cool. My neighbour, when he was here, he played Portmarnock, St. Ains and Royal Dublin. Joke here was he spends more time on the greens than Lansdowne. Yeah. Wow, neighbour. Okay, cool. He's a good golfer, Geordie. Good golfer. Rugby needs both heroes and villains to grow, just like other sports. Even people who don't follow football know Messi and Ronaldo. Henry Pollock brings that villain energy. Who else? Well, Richie McCaw did, of course. Richie McCaw was the biggest villain in World Rugby, wasn't he? Sean Fitzpatrick was another villain in World Rugby. Phil Kearns was one for Australia. Plenty of villains in the rugby game, past and present. Tupou Vai's a villain now, isn't he? Kevin Peterson doesn't like Tupou Vai. Kevin Peterson. George Gregan, yes, absolutely. Not too many Kiwis like George Gregan. Down, puppy. Down. Go and see mummy. Yeah, I agree though. Contrarian mine. The game needs it. Personalities make the game, right? And we need them all, right? When you talk about heroes, we need the gentlemen as well. And I think that's something we lost a little bit from the game in recent times. I think, like was spoken about before, Mike Gibson from Ireland was a gentleman in the game. Purely class act and kind of statesman, you know, that kind of figurehead in the game. Hugh John, who is your team in New Zealand? I don't have one. I left New Zealand 45 years ago, Hugh John, so I've lost touch with provincial rugby in New Zealand. That's why I watched Canterbury versus Otago today, because I wanted to reconnect. But yeah, I can tell you more about what's going on in American rugby than I can in New Zealand provincial rugby, probably. At least someone's looking forward to Rico Ioane playing for them. Look, I can tell you what, why don't you keep him? You can have him. Please keep him up there. Throw his passport away. Lock him up. Seriously, we've had enough. No more. No more of that. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Much rugby in Mexico? No, not yet. They're fluffing around a little bit. They're ranked 38 in the world at the moment. But of course, there's such a big influence here from American sports. So you've got American football and baseball and soccer. And the World Cup next year is not going to help that situation over here. So not too much at the moment. But down south, Paraguay, when they're not cheating, they're doing well. He'll come back a better player. Yeah, but okay. Geordie came back a better player. I agree with that. But Rico, do we want him to come back a better player? That's the question. I don't know. I say that about Rico because we've got to look at 2027, right? And the guy's going to be past it. He shouldn't be in the team. We should be bleeding younger guys in, giving them the experience instead of wasting our time on these guys. Beauden Barrett's going to be 36 and a half come Rugby World Cup. It's had 3 major concussions What if he gets knocked out in the first game? What do we do? Oh, Damien McKenzie. Oh, yeah, great. Anyway, don't start me down there. I've been awake for too long. George Regan. Yeah, Gregan. See, Michael Hooper from Australia was a great personality for rugby, yeah? Started off as a villain in the early days. People used to really get grated by the guy. And then he became a real hero. And now he's like godlike status in Australia. Michael Hooper. Campese. Always the villain. Especially the Kiwis. See, the Kiwis don't like anyone in Australia that were good against us. That's how it works. Yep, New Zealand are paper thin at 10. You'll be rocking up to the World Cup after slagging Eiling and Seaton talk about looking at the mirror. So the irony is that Rico Ioane can go out there and slag off Ireland, but you guys are welcoming him with open arms. That's interesting, isn't it? And I wouldn't say we got paper thin at 10. That's too thick. So we have to go something a bit more thinner than paper. Richie Moanga. No, please. Not that chat, Hugh John. Please. My parents gave me some very good advice when I left home. Don't look over your shoulder. And that's what rugby selectors should do as well. Don't look back over your shoulder. Don't go where you've already been. We've got a lot of good talent in New Zealand that's just not being showcased. That's all. I do know that much about the game in New Zealand, Hugh John, that I've seen enough of it from a distance. St. Pierre Golf Resort. Yeah, that was brilliant, that place. Well, this has been a good chat. It's carried me on for another couple of hours. 18 hours and 16 minutes. 6 games down today, rugby. It's Leinster. We've been massive fans of Kiwis coming to us. Heck, our greatest ever player loved more than Bod is Isa Nasiwa. Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay. But in all seriousness, please keep Rico Ioane. Please keep him over there. Who else is on the way over? We're losing. The guy that played fullback for Otago this weekend. He's off somewhere too. Brad Thorne's a good guy. Brad Thorne's a great guy. Good human being, that man. Have you met Brad Thorne in person? He's a top bloke. Paul Smith, you're back. Extremely interesting article on why the All Blacks Black Lions struggling and what the solution is. What article are you talking about? Did you find one? Can you send it to me? I'd like to read it. Hey, Joe, Leinster fan here too. What do you think of Kenny and Casper tonight? Played against them. There you go. There you go. Brad Thorne. Played against Brad Thorne. Fantastic. Really good guy, Brad Thorne. Must be something in the name. There's another guy, Brad Shields, yeah? He was a good guy as well. He's still knocking around somewhere. Brad Shields. Hey, Hugh, you didn't come back and tell us who you were playing for against, was it Davies, Jonathan Davies you played against? You didn't tell us who you were playing for. Or I didn't see it. Umang and Jensen, yeah, he's leaving too. But their fullback, what's his name? The captain, Sam Bennett, Sam Burkett. What's his name? The Otago fullback. I can't remember. He's off. He's going to Munster, I think. Yeah, I always wondered why my father played on the wing, and now I have the answer. It's right there. The pretty boy winger was my dad. I accidentally ran into Brad Thorne in an airport lounge one night and ended up sitting next to him having a couple of cold ones and quite an interesting chat about the state of affairs in the world of rugby. Top man. Top man. Kenny and Casper. Let us in on the secret. Did they have good games, Kenny and Casper? High scoring game. Leinster didn't watch it. AI underdog, pick your back. G'day, mate. The final quarter is here. Yes. Yes, it is. Just a meager 6 hours to go. 18 hours down. 18 and a half hours down. Wow, who would have thought? Gilbert, that's it. Sam Gilbert. He's off to Munster, no? Did I get that right? Or is it Umang and Jensen's off to... No, Umang and Jensen's off to... where's he going? Gloucester, wasn't it? God, I'm delirious. I haven't slept for a day. Top 2 locks of all time. That's a big call. Okay. Yeah, I was 11 at the time, and it was country level that I played against Jiffy. He was so special, even at that age, and destined for much greater things. It was so apparent then. Okay, I get it. Isn't it great, though, to play with someone at that age and they go on to do what he's done? Like, you have no idea, right, the career that these guys are going to have in front of them. That's a great story. Great story. This has been the most exciting part of my 18 and a half hours today. Thank you all for contributing like this. It's way better than sitting listening to myself talk about rugby games. It's the drink. Pure water, my friend. Pure water. Nothing in there. It's not tequila. It's not tequila, right? No. Hey, Joe Lyons, 886. Here's one for you. The Barrett family. So I'm from Taranaki, where the boys are from, and their farm is about 5 kilometers away from where I was raised and born. So we're virtually neighbours, but within the same area comes the great rugby players from New Zealand called Graham Murray and Dave Loveridge, also from that area, and Kieran Crowley. We're all from the same neighbourhood. And I was the only one that didn't become a famous rugby player. So there you go. Beat that one. Thoughts on World Rugby looking to put limits on games played and time? Personally, I think it can't be done. Yeah. I was thinking that the other day, actually, about how they're going to police that, right? And okay, so conceptually, we're talking about player welfare and everybody wants everybody to be okay. But as we know, you can go out and play one game a year and get paralysed, right? So how sincere is it about player welfare when it comes down to the damage you get during one game versus playing too much in a year and all the rest of it? So there's that aspect of it, I guess, that's up for a conversation. But yeah, I don't see how they can put limits on it and make it work. So what's the answer, though? So what do you do? What's your idea around that? I'd like to know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a prop versus a winger. Oh boy, did you see that moment in the Munster Connacht game today when the prop from Connacht got his neck bent right under his body? That looked terrible for a second. That made me chill up. That was absolutely terrible. Technology and personal tracking of player metrics. Yep. Well, it's already there in training today, right? So why isn't it extended to games? Yes, and the incident before it, yeah. Who was it? Ralston, yeah, the try scorer. He scored 2 tries, and then I thought he busted his leg as well. He was in a lot of pain when he went down, but it didn't seem to snap, but it must have done. It looked terrible, absolutely terrible. And then a couple of seconds later, you see the prop getting his neck bent under his body. It was moments like, and then the guy gets up and goes again in the next scrum. That's what blew me away. Like, how's that for a bit of courage? That wouldn't happen in Mexico. He would have walked off and gone home and had a taco or two. Absolutely. Wrapped himself in cotton wool for a week. Hey, isn't it midnight where all you guys are? What's the time? I'm assuming you're over that side of the pond. Hugh John, I was at my friend's house a few weeks ago and saw a photo of his father with Colin Pinetree Meads, as my friend's father was British, lying in the late 50s in New Zealand. Fantastic. 12:27 here. 027 UK. You guys, you're not going to bed tonight, you lot. I thought I was the only crazy one staying up and talking about rugby. Hugh John, got one to share with you. I was just saying in the chat earlier today, I had the great pleasure back in my youth as a young boy in New Zealand I got to visit Pine Tree Meads on his farm in beautiful Tikawiti in New Zealand, and met the great man himself. Absolutely fantastic moment in my life. Terrific man. Colin Pine Tree Meads, rest in peace. Another one that we've lost. Having a few cold ones. Okay, so you were projecting at me, huh? Telling me what I was drinking. I'm on this stuff. Good on you. Have one for me. Big Hardman 33's back. I spent a month in Mexico once. Loved it, especially Oaxaca and Yucatan. There you go. It's a good country. Brilliant people. Whereabouts in the Yucatan did you stay? Boom, boom. More needed, a lot of technology and pipeline, more smart tech and headgear under vest that record impact, spinal tap that measures the strain impact on the spine, loads of things. Yes, agree. Totally agree. 0.28, but I have beer. Okay. Okay. Whole box and Merida. You should have brought property. You'd be a billionaire by now. Very popular. Oscar, tomorrow you're going to get a lot of love from Daddy, mate. Okay. He's my loose forward. Hey, say hello to everyone. These are all the rugby people that I love chatting to. Say hello. I'm Oscar. Hi, Oscar. See, look, there's the chat over there. You can read all the names. Yes, I know. You should be in bed soon. Oh, no, it's too early. 6:30. Mummy, take you for a walk. Yeah, great man, Hugh John. And what I would say was he was a true New Zealand man. Pine Tree Meads you don't get to see a more Kiwi than Pine Tree Meads. Hard as bones on the outside and then a big soft beer on the inside. Okay, so you went and watched the Japan-Aussie game. You said you were going to. Yeah, don't worry. The box won't have a problem next week. That was a rejigged Aussie team that were having trouble getting it together today. But Japan played well. The defense was fantastic in the back end of the first half. Andy Hayden, yeah, he was great, especially at diving out of lineouts. That was a specialty. Mama's on the chat again. She loves Oscar. She's here for Oscar. Hey, everybody, can you say hello to my mother-in-law? She's on the chat, and she's the best woman in the world. I think I'm the only son-in-law that loves their mother-in-law to the end of the universe. I've got to send love hearts. Where are the love heart things in this? I don't even know how to use this thing. There you go, Mama. They're for you. You're my number one supporter after wifey. Thank goodness you haven't been here for 18 hours and 33 minutes, Mama. You'd be very tired. I am. That's not water in that. It's vodka. No, I can assure you it's not vodka. I can assure you it's not vodka. I guarantee you. Although I have less fond memories of Hayden when he and Frank Oliver conned the referee when they dived out of the line out and Brian McKetney kicked the goal to win the game 13-12. Yes. Yeah, not one of our fondest memories either, Hugh John. I can assure you of that. I can assure you of that. Frank Oliver. There's another name. Golly gosh. Mexico a few years back. Stayed in Mexico City and visited the pyramids of the sun and moon and other tourist attractions. It was great, but couldn't get to the top. Got too nervous. Yeah, it's a height thing. Vertigo. Okay, Big Hardman 33. My question about that was Bill McLaren calling that game in the commentary in 1967? Please confirm. One of the best rugby commentators of all time. Did he call Colin Meads being sent off against Scotland? "40 years, no All Black got sent off." Mm. Hey, contrarian mind, did you was Mexico City big enough for you, or would you like a city bigger than that? Is it bigger than Sao Paulo? No.
What?
Mexico City is not bigger than Sao Paulo. Huh? It's about the same, I think. I'll tell you what, with you guys downing the beers and whatever you're drinking over there, you're going to fall asleep before I do.
Sao Paulo is a little bigger.
A little bigger, yeah. Thought so. I've got to send something to the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay, everyone in the chat, can I have your attention, please? Just for 1 second. I've got something I'm going to send to you in the chat right now, and it's a gift to you all based on our chat tonight. And I would like to send it to you all with great love. So please enjoy. Here it is. Have a listen. Have a drink and have a listen. There you go. Should bring back some good memories then. Oh. No, get rid of it altogether. No red cards. Send the player off, get another player to come on so teams are even, and give a penalty try or a penalty or whatever, but get rid of the card process. 20-minute cards, no better. Teams should be 15 against 15 at all times, and we should find another way, in my opinion, to penalise a team for indiscretions like that. So send the player from the field so they can't participate in the game anymore, bring another player on, and give a penalty try or a penalty. What do you think of that? Just an idea. How many games have been ruined because we send a player off the field? Yes, I agree. Andrew Ford does put up some great content. Nope, red is a red. Okay. Explain to me why a 20-minute red card is a good idea. Please, someone. It's starting to get like credit cards. Are we going to have a platinum card soon as well? Yeah, okay, but what about you? Okay, so the red card comes out in the instance that you just said in terms of something stupid and cynical, but that player should be removed from the game completely, no? Well, the logic behind that is if a player is removed completely from the game and they're the type of player that's going to do something cynical, then surely they're going to think twice about the result of what's going to happen, right? Like, why should a Rugby World Cup final, the spectacle of the game, be impacted by a red card? Anyway, this is a great point, this discussion, because this is exactly why it returns a team to 15 after 20. So many games are ruined because the team is reduced to 14 early. Okay, so what happens if it happens in the last 20 minutes of the game? Like with 21 minutes to go and it's 13-all draw. You ruin the game anyway because the team's reduced to 14 men at the end of the game. It's good stuff, isn't it, Elizabeth? I'll tell you what, when you're having a bad day, something's going wrong in life, just go and listen to that video. Yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, you're right, Hugh, John. I'm not saying that there should be less leniency in the final of a Rugby World Cup, but it's the biggest stage of our game, right? And it should be the showcase of our game. So whatever works in that game has to work across the rest of the games, in my opinion. So maybe we should start from that position and say, right, what are we prepared to accept for a Rugby World Cup final that showcases our game to the sporting universe, and work our way back from there. Because as we've seen over, players' careers can be doomed by one mistake in that game, right? And again, cynical and foul play has to be punished. Absolutely. I'm not saying it shouldn't be punished, but so in lieu of a red card, I'd say if it was a red card worthy punishment, then I believe the player should be removed from the game and another player is allowed to come on for that team. So the team still has 15 players. But the player that made that indiscretion is removed from the game. And yeah, it could be the best player on the team, but that's that's their fault for doing it, right? No, no, no. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is start with building the solution from the World Cup rugby final. So whatever you're prepared to have as the solution for the real rugby World Cup final should also be the solution for all other levels of rugby and games. So I'm not saying it should be different. So sorry for the confusion. What I'm saying is everybody should sit down and say, right, what do we think the best way of refereeing the World Cup final should be to showcase our sport, but also make sure that we capture cynical and dangerous play at that level. And whatever we think is the right solution for that particular game, making sure we keep the integrity of the game along with showcasing the entertainment and spectacle that it should be, then we're prepared to put that into place for every other game, not only in the World Cup, but every other game across the game of rugby. Yep, exactly. And not only did it kill their chances, it also destroyed the game, right? This is why I love the idea of building URF for fans across the world, because everybody else can come up with the solutions and I can just provide the platform for everybody to communicate on. I don't want to talk. I don't need to come up with a solution. That's the fans' job. Imagine if we had 1 million people from rugby across the world having this debate right now on this topic. I'm sure we'd find a consensus within a month. Now, now, now. Now, now, now. Oh, getting tired over here, folks. Ben John. That's his name. I've got his name. Hugh. Hugh John. I've got the guy's name I was trying to show you in the photo. It was Ben John. Do you know Ben John? This guy. Do you know this guy, Hugh? Do I? Okay, time for a bit of trivia, Hugh. 61 years old soon, a couple of months. Never had a cup of coffee in my life. Not one. Not a single cup. Never. Nada. The wife's not happy. That's the one. That's him. That's Ben John. That's him. That's Ben John. That's the photo I was showing him, me standing at Carter Farms Park 2 years ago. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. He's your son. The guy we met.
The guy.
Yes. No Red Bull. No. No, nothing. He's your son. Wow. What a small world. Absolutely hard to beat the Arms Park. A lot of history in that place. So then, Hugh, your son interviewed me at the Carter Farms Park. There you go. Incredible. Incredible story. I think I've got his number still in my WhatsApp, in my contact list, actually. It's a small world, this world we live in. Mm? Ah, your son's namesake. Okay. Okay. I was going to say there's probably 1,000 of them in Wales with that name, right? I think that before the Red Bull, I need some sleep. Oh, 7 o'clock. 19 hours and 2 minutes. Insane. What?
That was at 4:40.
Oh, what's the time? Oh no, 7 o'clock. Oh goodness gracious! Everyone's fallen asleep in the chat.
Yes, everybody.
Everyone's fallen asleep. Have you all fallen asleep? Wakey, wakey! Come on,
No,
got to keep me awake, please. They've all succumbed to whatever they were drinking. Big Hardman, 33. Have you vanished? Contrarian mind, you've fallen asleep. Oscar. Hey, puppy. Elizabeth, you deserve a good sleep. You've been up all day with me just about. 6 a.m. for Tonga and Samoa. Is that tomorrow? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Hugh. I think I might close off at 20 hours, which is going to be in 54 minutes. I think 20 hours is a pretty good effort. Okay, I've made the decision. I'm going to call it stumps at 8 o'clock my time, 53 minutes from now. That'll give me 20 hours straight. I'm happy with that. And the wife is agreeing. And the puppy is agreeing. And the mother-in-law is agreeing. Everybody wants this to end. 20 hours. Tell you a story. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I think 20 hours is enough. I agree. We've had our technical challenges. We've overcome that. We've watched 6 rugby games. I even tried to provide commentary. Big day Monday. It'll be day 300 straight. I've cycled 35K per day. Said I'd start and continue if wife came through her cancer. It's been a tough year, but we're nearly there. Fantastic stuff. Good on you. That's a record to be proud of. Congratulations, Joe Lyons, 886. And you know what? Just to cap it all off, you can beat the All Blacks on Saturday in Chicago. There you go. I'll be cheering you on. I'll be cheering you on. Thank you, Hugh John. Tell you what, mate, we've got to meet up for a beer one day. Let's make it happen. And I'd just like to put this on the record while I've got witnesses. I'll never, ever do this again. And if I do, block me on YouTube or do something. Report me. Report me on YouTube if I ever say I'm going to do this again.
But you enjoy the company of the guys.
Yes, of course. I enjoy the company of everybody. Yes. Yeah, I bet she has, Joe. I bet she has. 35 Ks a day for 300 days. That's a great effort. Very good. It's been a very inspirational chat the last few hours. People, thank you for your contributions. I really appreciate it. Glad I got to meet you all through my rugby channel. Rugby's a fantastic game, isn't it? Yep, sure has been, Elizabeth. Absolutely, 100%. And for that reason alone, it's one of the greatest things I've ever done then. Absolutely. Food for thought. I'm pleased. I'm pleased to you, John. Okay, share this with me before you start heading off. What was the catalyst for the great game of rugby coming into your life? Let me know in the chat. What was the catalyst for the great game of rugby coming into your life? Fantastic, Elizabeth. What year was that? Yep, that's true too. You, John? Brilliant. Good stories. Good one, Hugh Joe. John, thanks for sharing that. Big times for rugby back in the 70s, huh? Oh, brilliant. Good stuff. I can't say mine, so I'm going to write it to your... Yep. A lot of great memories in our great game for all kinds of reasons, huh? Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for being there. Absolutely brilliant of you. Enjoy Tonga and Samoa in the morning and get some rest. And we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. I'll thank everybody else as well because it's been terrific. It's been a very apt closing of the session. One that I shall remember for a very long time. Where there's life, there's hope. Or so they say. But a forward? Come on. That's next level. Hey, if you do need counseling, come back here. This is a therapy place. Everything's catered for here on this place. Oh, I've already got a nickname for him. Joe Lyons, I've already got a nickname for him. Start calling him Valentini. Rico, no, don't label Rico. No. No, I haven't lived in Mexico for 35 years, Hugh John. This is the latest stop on a whirlwind journey around the world. Been here 4 years, just under 4 years. Okay, I've got 33 minutes left and it's going to be stumps. 20 hours coming up in 33 minutes. So we're going to be wrapping things up at 8 p.m. local time here in Cancun for the end of this Inside Rugby Marathon podcast of 20 hours. Lots happened today. Kicked off last evening with a look at the Japan versus Wallabies game. 19-15 win to the Wallabies in that one, close one, and they'll go on to play England at Twickenham next weekend. And then we caught up with the Canterbury Otago NPC final from Christchurch in New Zealand. A good win by the Canterbury team in that one, 38 points to 26. And then it was into the URC for the rest of the day. And got to see the games: Lions versus Ulster, Sharks versus the Scarlets, Benetton versus the Stormers, and Munster versus Connacht. So those were the games I watched live all today. And here we are, nearly 20 hours later in the chat. Huge thank you to everybody that's joined the chat today across the whole 19 and a half hours so far. Been some wonderful conversations. A lot of good ideas for United Rugby fans on what we need to fix in the game. So I thank all the people that have contributed that. It's been an outstanding contribution from everybody that came on and gave us their thoughts about where rugby needs to go in the future, what the problems are today, and what URF can do to help them. The good news was during the day, I got a message from the World Rugby Organization saying they're prepared to have a meeting with me and have a chat about what we're doing. So the door is opened at World Rugby. And I got a message on LinkedIn just today. How ironic is that we're talking about all this stuff? So that was brilliant. And we've got a lot of great things happening already in the 2 chapters that we're establishing. South Africa will go live this week with our legal registration as a not-for-profit organization. The great work that Johan West is doing, our chapter lead in South Africa, with plenty of members over there. And after becoming a legal entity, the push will be on then to do a lot of different activities in South Africa, culminating next year with our conference. Leinster. Yeah, I missed Leinster. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it tomorrow. I promise. Yeah, I don't know why we ended up watching the Stormers game. Anyway, we did. So, lots of good things going on with URF. We've got our conference happening in South Africa next year. That's going to be before the second test match of the Rivals Tour between the All Blacks and the Springboks. It's happening in Cape Town. We're going to have a multi-day event where we're inviting rugby fans from all across South Africa, across the African nation, continent, and also from the rest of the world. We've got guest speakers lined up. We're going to ask fans to come in their droves and tell us all the things that we need to fix in World Rugby. And we'll have representatives from rugby unions, past and present. And we'll also have World Rugby representation there at our conference in Cape Town. So that's United Rugby Fans Conference happening in Cape Town next year. Get ready. That'll be our first one. And then in Canada, we're progressing our plans to get legal entity in Canada. That will happen very soon. I'm going to be making an appointment in that position for the person that's going to be rolling out the Americas for us for United Rugby Fans. That's going to happen hopefully this coming week. I'll be able to make the announcement of the director of URF, the Americas, and all the things that we're going to do across all North, South, and Central America to help rugby fans get connected to our organization. So some pretty exciting things happening at the moment through United Rugby Fans, and much more to come. We're going to be getting our new website built, and we're going to be able to give our members a platform that they can start engaging in. Very exciting stuff. What's the greatest moment in your life in the game of rugby? New Zealand winning inaugural World Cup must be up there as well. McCaw lifting it 2 times. Hugh, the greatest moment in my life in rugby. Give me a minute to think about it. There's a couple. There's a couple. Okay, I've got it. June 14th, 1975, Hugh. The flooded test match in Auckland, New Zealand at Eden Park between Scotland and New Zealand. The All Blacks won 24-0. Andy Irvine and co. came on to a drenched Eden Park that was basically lapping in water. And I was sitting behind the goalpost with my father and my grandfather, and boys' day out. Best rugby game, best moment I've ever enjoyed in the game of rugby. There you go. That's it. Even more so than the Rugby World Cup wins. That was a moment I'll never forget. What about yours? Tell us yours. Oh, everything's starting to go a bit slow. Who else is in the chat? Come and join us. Tell us who's there. We've only got 24 minutes left and it's all over. Can you believe I only used this twice today? I only used this twice today. Incredible. 19 hours and 30 minutes. I only went twice. Contrarian mind, you're still there, mate. Haven't you finished your drinks yet? I'm back. Mark, what's your favorite music and movies? Oh my God. That's diving into the deep stuff. Favorite music and movies. Well, music. I'm one of those people that love a whole variety of music, so I don't really have a particular genre that I like. It's a bit of everything, really. Depends on the mood on the day, so it's not really something I'll stick to. Movies, Godfather, Scarface, anything with Pacino. Anything with Pacino. Yeah, Al Pacino. Probably be my favorite actor, I think. What about you, Contrarian Mind? What's your favorite music and movies? I'd be pretty general on that. I'd say anything Pacino's been in is pretty much up there on my list. Come on, Hugh John, tell us your greatest moment in your life in the game of rugby. What was it? You're not getting off that easy. Probably the Grand Slams of 70, 78 in Cardiff against France, or 2012 Grand Slam against Cardiff. In Cardiff against France, it would have been 1978 versus New Zealand, but for Andy Hayden. Okay, I think we need to let go of this Andy Hayden thing. I think it's scarred you. I can hear it. Not a good moment. I'm not proud of it. I'm a Kiwi. I'm not proud of it. I don't like being reminded of it either. Not a good moment. Those are good memories, though. Grand Slams. Yes. Those were the days, huh? Those were the days, the brilliant 70s for the Welsh. You were there for all 3 games. Wow, fantastic. I'll tell you what, though, nothing like sitting in the Principality Stadium and listening to the Welsh singing. That's something very, very special. It's one of those things I say to people in your life. If you're a rugby fan in your life, you've got to go to Murrayfield and listen to the Scots singing. You've got to go to... No, not Invictus. No, not Invictus. You got to go to Murrayfield and listen to the Scots sing. You got to go to Lansdowne Road or Croke Park. These are all things you got to do once in your lifetime, yeah? You've got to go to the Melbourne Cricket Ground on Boxing Day for a cricket test match. You've got to go to Eden Park to watch a rugby game. You've got to go to Alice Park to watch a rugby game. I'm not a big Twickenham fan, but it's a pretty good stadium. Do what music? Okay. There will be blood. There will be blood, and many others. I guess as a rugby fan, I've got to say Chasing the Sun, right? Documentaries. That's got to be up there, right? Come on, I'm trying to open a can of worms. I've only got 19 minutes left. I like African music. I do like African music. I was married to a South African for a few years, so I got indoctrinated a little bit. Started calling my running shoes tackies. I started eating biltong and mealies. I started telling everybody I'll be there just now. That was another chapter. Imagine having a place on our United Rugby Fans website where everybody can come and put their greatest rugby moment as a kind of a mural or some form of poem or story or something. Wouldn't that be awesome to have that? Potato, you're back. We missed you. Mark, you should make a line sort of squad for the Southern Hemisphere teams, then do a 23. Well, you know what? I've made these videos before and no one watches them. So some people ask me to make these things and then I get 100 views. So I'm happy to do it. I'm not complaining, but for the amount of interest there is in those sorts of teams, I'll tell you what I'll do. Okay, you'll watch it, potato. That's enough. I'll make it for you. But I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's wait until after the Northern Tour, okay? And I'll put together my Southern Hemisphere team of 23 after the Northern Tour, okay? That's a promise. That's a good idea, actually. And you can watch it. And if I get one view, I'll be happy. Exactly. It's not about the wins. Sometimes it's not about the wins. Exactly right. It's about the memory. Okay, potato. It's a deal. Straight after the Autumn International Series, I'll put together that video. And if you don't comment on it, I'll come after you. Okay, dog's been out for his final walk. Wife's gone out for her final walk. I'm in the last home stretch, 16 minutes to go. And I'm going to be wrapping it up after 20 hours of continuous podcasting. Incredible. What a day. Don't forget to watch the Formula One from Mexico City tomorrow, everyone. That should be one of your sporting goals for Sunday. Big stuff down here. Formula One. Chico Perez coming back next year, driving for Cadillac. That'll be like a clown show, that one. Anyway, I digress. It's a lack of sleep, I tell you. Okay, before I leave today, best player today I watched out of all the games. Oh, gosh. That's put me on the spot. Best player I watched over the course of today. Best player, best performance. Oh, yeah, that Sharks guy. He was good. What's his name? No, not Sharks. Ulster. Ulster guy. Ballacoon scored 3 tries for Ulster today. He's my man of the day. Brilliant tries. There you go. And a losing team. He was my player of the day. Who's your player of the day today? Ballacoon for me. for Ulster. 3 good tries, 3 great tries. I didn't watch the Leinster game, so I can't say anything about that one. And Australian Nick de Crepney, he's got 100% record while captaining the Australian Wallabies. Not many Wallaby captains have got that accolade. Top player ravaged with injury. Rob, great seeing him back. Yep. Okay, fair enough. Good call. Kurtley Ardenser was back for the Bulls on Friday night against Glasgow, and one of his first acts in the game was to give a hospital pass to Willie LaRue on their line. That was entertaining. But then they almost had the best try of the game that was disallowed. Any last thoughts? 13 minutes to go. I'm going to shut the shop down. Now, for those that have had a few drinks tonight, if you want to come back and see what you said tomorrow, these YouTube videos will be up on my channel, so you can go through it all. Who would you pick for the Wallabies back row and the sub? I think they've got it pretty much right at the moment with Fraser McWright, Tom Hooper, and Harry Wilson. And I'd be bringing Valentini off the bench, potato. Fraser McWright's had a brilliant year so far this year. Tom Hooper's really stood up at number 6. And I think Harry Wilson's a good leader. Hugh John, I have only stayed up because you have kept me and no doubt everyone entertained, and you deserve our support. It's a great... Thank you, Hugh John. The pleasure's all mine. You guys have been keeping me going this last few hours. It's been brilliant. 3 hours 20 we've been going since you guys joined. Amazing stuff. Trivia mark. Who's the only Test nation currently holding an away win against Argentina, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand? It's the only time in the professional era that a team has done this. Oh, wow. Away win. Well, dare I say the answer? It's got to be Ireland, right? It's definitely not Scotland. Ireland. How did I go? 100%? Shall we talk about quarterfinals in the Rugby World Cup? Joe Line, shall we talk quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup? Trivia can play 2 ways, you know. Fun or nasty. No, I'm not tired. I could go another 20 hours. Yeah, I'm pretty exhausted, to be honest. But you know what will happen? I'll stop doing this and I won't be able to go to sleep. That's what will happen. No, good night. Now, I'll guarantee it. I'll get off this and I won't be able to go to sleep. My mind will be rushing with rugby statistics and ideas and things to do and YouTube videos to make this week. And thanks very much, you guys. You just ruined my weekend. Thanks so much. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. I think 20 hours has got a nice round sound to it, right? 24 kind of stinks. Oxen Chair got man of the match for the Sharks today. Nice to see a prop get it for a change. Did he? Sharks, I thought there were some good players for the Sharks. Vincent Tajuka was fantastic today. Was that a celebrity vote? Who votes for these man of the match things anyway? Why don't they give you an app on your phone that all the fans can vote for the match player of the day, man of the match, or whatever? Shouldn't the fans be deciding that, or do they do that? I don't know. How's it awarded? Is it just the TV broadcasters again? Commentators? It's just the little things, right? Should Ox get Player of the Year at least nominated? Yeah, should be nominated, I think. He's had a great year. No question about it. Certainly won't be Andy Hayden, will it, Hugh? Not Andy Hayden. I don't think Andy Hayden ever won Player of the Year. Not in Hugh's list, anyway. Last time I did a 20-hour session, it was with a Safa mate who stayed in my home after losing a bet in the Iron SA series. He had to get a tattoo of Ireland, but the 20-hour session made up for his pain. Now, you can just imagine how many debauchery rugby stories there are like that across the world after every major test match, right? That's why I never bet on rugby games. And you have picks. Okay, good. You've got leverage then. That's what that's called. You never know when you might need to pull those out. He did. He got a tattoo. My goodness. That's ballsy, yeah. Or insanity. A fine line. Mind you, with the amount of alcohol you probably consumed, he probably didn't even know he was getting the tattoo. Oh, look, I woke up with this on my arm. Fantastic. Online loonies. Yes, plenty of those around. I think I'm one of those at the moment. Okay, let's have a little bet on the Irish All Black game in Chicago next weekend. Joe, Lions, what's going to be the bet for the Irish beating the All Blacks next weekend? New Zealand by 3. I'm glad we've helped you through that moment, Hugh, tonight. Hello, Rock. 1453. Hey, Rock, do you happen to have a rugby tattoo by any chance? And do you have an Irish friend? Well, that's a big swing. Okay, I was just checking. I thought we might have been just talking about you before you joined the chat. but it's obviously not you. Thank you for confirming. Conor McGregor is my Irish friend. He's everybody's Irish friend, isn't he? Conor McGregor. Okay. Either Ireland by 10 or New Zealand by 15. Okay, so now rather than sitting on the fence, tell us what way you're going to go. You've got to go Ireland by 10, don't you? You've got no choice. A draw. I'll tell you what, I'll go New Zealand by 15 if you go Ireland by 10. And if I lose, I'll give you a free ticket to the United Rugby Fans Conference in Cape Town next year if you can make it there. There you go. Interested? New Zealand's a bit disjointed. Yeah, absolutely. Key, Henshaw and Doris are out, so I think AB's by 5-7. What say you? AB's by 7. Okay. Okay, cool. Deal is on, Joe. You get to Cape Town, sleep on your cousin's couch, and I'll get you into the United Rugby Fans Conference. Deal. AB's by 5-7. One score in it, eh? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a try in it. Okay, done deal. Hey, Rock, you joined us pretty late, mate. I've decided to call an end to the podcast. What was it I'm doing? A challenge? I'm going to finish after 20 hours, which is in 1 minute's time. Oh, okay. Okay, Rock, let me just do this for you before I go. Seeing you come along to have a chat. There you go, Rock. This is for you, mate. Have a read. That's my opinion on what you just talked about. No, you don't need to apologize. It's okay. I'm just finishing a 20-hour podcast. I'm going to bed. Overtime, New Zealand down by 2, 81-53. New Zealand forces a penalty. Bone and Barrett slots in front of the post. Okay. Potato, potato. Let's see if it comes true. Contrarian mind, you're spot on. 3 come along at once. Absolutely. Okay, listen, that's it, folks. I'm going to call it. It's now 20 hours since I started this podcast, and it's done. We're dusted. Thank you so much for everybody who joined in of recent times and everybody that supported me during the day. Of course, it's been a hell of a session. And I'll see you all again sometime online when I wake up. So have a great weekend. Get some sleep, everyone. And keep loving your rugby. And it's time to say adios from beautiful Cancun. Good night. Thank you. Merry Christmas.